Okay, so time to configure some group policies. So group policies is just a centralized way to manage our users and computers within our environment. Um, so we'll set a couple of basic ones up, nothing too extravagant. And we'll also configure up the file server. So the file server is just going to be that um, additional disk that I added to this domain controller. So let's get stuck into it. Okay, so back into our domain controller. Fire up group policy. Basically, I create just a couple to start with. Actually, I only create one. I edit the default domain policy, which affects everything within the domain. And what I like to figure straight out of the bat is password policy. Now, in a production environment, the password policy would be probably quite strict. Here, because it's a lab, I loosen it right up and remove things like don't remember password history, do not expire passwords, password can be changed immediately, password length, I'll make it 3 characters, but my passwords are longer than that anyways. I turn off the complexity requirement so we don't have to go too complicated with our passwords. I leave password reversible encryption alone. That's the first policy. So it's basically just updating the default domain policy, which is created at the time of the domain creation. So that's that one done. Then the other one that I create is to fix a little annoyance with my virtual machines locking out. So disable auto lock. So by default, I think like client machines and servers will auto lock after a few minutes if of inactivity. I hate that feature. So for the purpose of this lab, I just disable auto lock, and the best way, probably do this a few different ways, but the best way that I've come across is altering the power options, adding a new power plan, basically under display, set these to 0. Now I'm pretty sure there's other ways to do this, but I find that this is effective and will stop our machines from auto locking. Then once you've done that, group policy I think applies itself every 30 minutes by default, 100% on that one, but if you want the policies to be applied to all users and computers straight away, you can just run GP update force. That will apply those policies straight away. That's completed successfully. User policy updated, computer policy updated. Basically, both those policies that the password policy and the auto lock policy are just computer policy updates. They're not user policies anyway, so that should sort that out. We'll create another one in just a moment, and it's just regarding the setup of the file server. So let's start that process. So basically what I want to do is, let's just start with, I have all these files that I use, the software installs and so forth. And what I want to do is create this as a share. So if you're familiar with creating shares or not, this is the simple way to do it. Go into so that's the folder we want to share. We want to advance, share this folder. Admin underscore shares is fine. And permissions. Now, a lot of people have different views on this, but I just use authenticated. Actually, in this case, I'm just going to use administrator. That's the main domain admin at this stage. We'll change this up a bit later. Administrator can have full access to share. So now we can access this folder directly from anywhere by using this UNC path. Now, one thing further is also to configure the security access. So shares is one form of the access. Then we have the, I guess what you'd call the NTFS security component. Disable inheritance. I don't think it's there. So I'm actually quite happy just to leaving it as administrators. Actually, I might just add the main admins as well. Only administrators and domain admins will have privileges to make any changes inside this folder. So just to double check that that works all good. Beautiful. And what I'll do, I'll just copy that and I'm going to create a new policy to admin share policy. And what I'm going to edit that. This will be a policy. Make a drive map drive. Date is fine. To that location, we'll let the admin share. I'll give drive letter B. What I normally item targeting, and you are just for now. Normally I use a security group because I'll have a Active Directory group that I will give access to this share, but I'll just use the this option that is trader. Apply and OK. But basically, that this policy will only work on a user if they are the administrator account. So any other accounts won't run this policy. And let's give that a test. So that's the T drive that we've created. Don't have any T drive just yet. Now you'll also notice if we try to run this right now, I don't believe the T drive will automatically apply just yet. I think we do a log off and a log back on. It's asking us. Yeah, so we'll say yes, we'll log off. We're logging on with the administrator account. Hopefully, see, we see now the T drive, and now we can see everything inside this folder. We log on to other machines with the administrator account. We can potentially go in there here and say install Office or something like that, or logging on to a bit later on, we'll log on and maybe install Veeam on a server. So that's that all sorted. We'll update the policies as we go along, and we'll add groups and all those type of things to make our lives easier. For now, that's all sorted.